How you doing, YouTube? Matt with Massive Beer Reviews. Back with yet another review. A little bit of canned, slightly aged, mixed stoutiness. Coming from Florida, oddly enough, but not really. Coming from New York and the UK, it is Other Half in Cloudwater. It's their Bad Decisions. This is an Imperial Stout with cocoa nibs and ancho peppers. Yeah. This is sent to me actually by Carson. He sent off a box of Florida stuff and threw this in there, and I was like, I'm like an hour and a half from New York. This traveled all the way to Florida, and he sent it back to me, but he came back with this response when I made a joke about it. He's like, I know you like beers with chilies in it. That warms my heart that people actually listen. I do, so thank you very much, dude, for sending this off. I super appreciate it. I don't know if I reviewed this for it. Might have. So if we did, you'll never see this, but if I didn't, you will. How about that? It's called science. Anyway, Other Half in Cloudwater, Bad Decisions, Imperial Stout with cacao, and ancho peppers. Actually, it's cocoa. It's not cacao. That's my bad. And it was canned on November 3rd. Today is March 13th, 2018. This is canned in 2017, so you do the math. Otherwise, it's all right. It's kind of like synaptic brain patterny stuff and, red and black. What do you want? What do you want from me, YouTubes? I want your undividing love and attention. That's what I want. Anyway, let's give this a rough pour. Let's be kind of a jerk with it. Beat it up a bit. It's a peppery beer. It's a ancho chili beer. So let's pour it like it's going to take us a long time to get a nose on it because I'm me. 2 fingers of actually really beautiful kind of. It's almost like somewhere north of malted malt ball with a kind of caramelly kind of color to it. The edges are much, much darker, more caramel colored than the top. The top is a bit more kind of malt ball colored. Infinite creaminess up top. You can't see it, but I mean, that is literally what dreams are made of as far as creaminess goes. And she'd be dark. So she definitely looks the part of a stout. Now, when you pour it like a jerk, you can't get a nose on it. This is what you have right here. So I'm just going to try to kind of weed myself in there and get a nose. Probably touch it with my nose. Because that, again, is science. See it? A little bit of snorts. Yeah, she's actually coming off way more milk chocolatey than I thought she would. I'm just getting kind of milk chocolate off of it. A little bit of roasted malt, a little bit of coffee, but mostly milk chocolate. Not getting much pepper, but that head is kind of probably beating it back. Tom might have did a little bit to the peppers too, but definitely all about the milk chocolate in there. There might be a little bit of that green kind of vegetal skinny oily thing as opposed to a heat thing, but she smells pretty nice. Let's dive in. Cheers. Man, that's fucking super drinkable. 11%. Wow. Man, it's definitely skewing a little bit sweet. Maybe a little bit sweeter than a lot of people want. Big, bold stouts to lean. But it's right in my wheelhouse, sweetness-wise. What I'm getting is... And it's oddly enough, it's got a big bittering component to it. But it's just small enough from that sweetness. You don't get a bunch of it. There's a nice kind of bittering maltiness to it. That's where I'm getting the bittering from. The sweetness, definitely getting it from the malt too, but it's just that bittering from that roasted malt is big enough to balance off that sweetness to make it super drinkable. Super creamy, super fluffy, almost like a big Imperial porter or like a Baltic porter as opposed to a stout. But it's still a stout. It just has that creaminess to it. The chocolate's coming off crazy. You're getting a bit of kind of cappuccino, espresso kind of chocolatey thing along with the whole stuff. Now, the pepper version of it, or the pepper bits and pieces of it, if you will, aren't really showing all that much anymore. There's not really heat to it, but like I said, there's a little bit of a kind of vegetal, oily, peppery thing. If you've ever worked with peppers, Ccoco peppers, 8 peppers, that whole kind of thing, you get that a little bit. It's almost like an earthy pepperness. Green pepper. Not like a red or a heated pepper. And I kind of dig it. It's super delectable. This is a pastry stout, man. This is you're telling me there's no lactose in it. That in itself blows my mind. Just coming off super smooth, super creamy, super frothy, super drinkable. super delicious. From what I've had from other half, especially over the past year and a half, because before that, it didn't really nail a lot of things for me. And then when I got a box of Cloudwater beers, albeit all hop stuff from my buddy Gary, over in the UK, I gotten really high hopes for both brewery, and this, like I said, is pretty damn tasty stuff. So to see this kind of fun little magic thrown about by two breweries that are really killing it on both the hop and stout tip, it's pretty damn fun. So let's talk about it. Is it one of the better adjunct stouts? Sure. That I've had as of late? Yes. If I were to say chili stouts, no, because you're not really getting much chili. But then again, you're talking about December, January, February, March. 4 months in, not that long, but it's not a big chili component. But as far as a chocolate-based kind of small adjunct stout, small as in a little bit of adjuncts, not 18 different adjuncts. It's a big beer. It's up there. It's tasty. It's delicious. I could drink it all day, and if I did, I'd probably pass out and die. But at the same time, it's tasty enough to do so. Value and availability, it's other half, so it's probably $20, give or take a couple bucks for a 4-pack, and leave you with, if you like, well, you like this. If you just like nice, creamy, delicious, big stouts. This is super drinkable, super tasty. I like the balance between the bittering of the roasted malts and the sweetness of the malt, and it just, I think this base beer is fantastic. And that's the point I didn't talk about at all through this review. I believe if you didn't put any of those adjuncts in there, it would be a killer stout. So, you can kind of hide bits and pieces of negativity or flaws or whatever in bigger beers, but when the beer is perfect, it just makes everything else kind of work that much better. Good foundation, and that's what this beer has. So there you go. Another review in the books. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Down there to talk about it. Check me out doing those social medias. Type into Google, Massive Beers. You find me doing stuff there. Conversely, if you want to see me doing the podcasting thing, brewer interviews, roundtable stuff like that, type in Beer Massive into Google or your favorite podcasting app. And hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully enjoying a nice big stout right now. And hope to see you next time. Cheers.